Hello guys, my name is Muhammad Yusuf. I have been teaching mechanics for 10 years. During teaching, I have observed that many students face difficulties to solve the questions given in the past papers. So I have decided to address their issues. Let's start. Now I am going to solve the past papers of M1 and M2 of Cambridge Board and Edexcel Board. In order to understand the solutions of these papers, you must know the definition of mechanics and the units used frequently in mechanics. What is definition of mechanics? Mechanics is the branch of applied mathematics deal with motion and forces producing motion. Mechanics is also a branch of physics concerned with the motion of bodies under the action of forces, including the special case in which a body remains at rest or in equilibrium. Every body at rest is in equilibrium, but every body in equilibrium may not be at rest. For example, if an object moves with a constant speed, that body is in motion and also in equilibrium. Here, some units are shown, and these units are frequently used in mechanics, and they are shown by red marks or ticks. In this video, I will solve the board past paper M1 October 2020 Cambridge Board. Let's start. Question number 2. A car of mass 800 kg is traveling along a straight horizontal road. The power of the car engine is constant. There is a constant resistance to motion of 650 Newton. A part. Find the power of the car engine. Given that the car's acceleration is 0.5 meter per second square when its speed is 20 meter per second. In order to find the power of the car engine, we should use Newton's second law of motion, which is F is equal to ma. The net force which is acting on the car is equal to Fd minus 650 Newton. We have Fd minus 650 is equal to ma. I mean 800 into 0.5. So Fd is equal to 650 plus 800 into 0.5. But F is equal to power upon velocity. It's a formula. So in place of Fd we can write P upon 20 is equal to 1550. And P is equal to 20 multiplied by 1550. Hence, power of the engine is 31,000 watts or 31 kilowatts. Now, in B part of question number 2, find the steady speed which the car can maintain with the engine working at this power. For steady speed, applied force is equal to force of friction. So P upon V is equal to 650 Newton. But power we got in part A, which is 31,000 watts. So 31,000 watt upon V is equal to 650 Newton, and V is equal to 31,000 upon 650, which is equal to 47.7 meter per second. Question number 1. Two particles P and Q of masses 0.2 kg and 0.5 kg respectively are at rest on a smooth horizontal plane. P is projected towards Q with speed 2 meter per second. A part. Write down the momentum of particle P. Momentum is equal to mass multiplied by the velocity. It is the formula for the momentum. Mass of particle P is 0.2 kg and velocity is 2. So momentum of P is equal to 0.2 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 0.4 kilogram meter per second. Now the B part. After the collision, P continued to move in the same direction with speed 0.3 meter per second. Find the speed of Q after the collision. In order to find the speed of particle Q, we should use law of conservation of momentum, which is MPUP plus MQUQ, which is the sum of the momentum of the system before collision, is equal to MPVP plus MQVQ, the sum of the momentum of the system after collision. Now substitute the values of masses and velocities given in the question. So 0.2 into 2 plus 0.5 into 0 is equal to 0.2 multiplied by 0.3 plus 0.5 multiplied by V. V we have to find. Therefore, V, speed of the particle Q, is equal to 0.4 minus 0.06 upon 0.5, which is equal to 0.68 meter per second. Question number 3. A block of mass mkg is held in equilibrium below a horizontal ceiling by two strings as shown in the diagram. One of the strings is inclined at 45 degree to the horizontal and the tension in this string is T Newton. The other string is inclined at 60 degree to the horizontal and the tension in this string is 20 Newton. Find tension and mass of the block. Since the block is in equilibrium, so sum of all the forces acting along x-axis and acting along y-axis must be equal to 0, which is the first condition of equilibrium. Then two forces are acting along x-axis, T cos 45 degree and 20 cos 60 degree. And according to this condition, T cos 45 degree is equal to 20 cos 60 degree, or T is equal to 10 upon 0.707, which is equal to 14.14 Newton. Here cos 45 degree is equal to 0.707 and cos 60 is equal to 0.5. Now sum of all the forces acting along y-axis must be 0. How many forces are acting along y-axis? 3. 2 forces up and 1 force down. So sum of all the forces is equal to 0. It means T sine 45 degree plus 20 sine 60 degree is equal to mg, or substitute the values of sine 45 and sine 60 and the value of m. We have 14.14 multiplied by 0.707 plus 20 multiplied by 0.866 is equal to 10m. Hence we have 10 plus 17.32 divided by 10, which is equal to mass of the block. Hence the mass of the block is 2.73 kilogram. Here the forces T and 20 Newton are acting neither along x-axis nor along y-axis. So we have to resolve these forces into their rectangular components, which are shown in the diagram. Question number 4. The diagram shows a velocity time graph which models the motion of a car. The graph consists of 4 straight line segments: 1, 2, 3, and 4. The car accelerates at a constant rate of 2 meters per second square from rest to a speed of 20 meters per second over a period of t seconds. It then decelerates at a constant rate for 5 seconds before traveling at a constant speed of v meter per second for 27.5 seconds. The car then decelerates to rest at a constant rate after a period of 5 seconds. A part. Find t, the time during which the car is accelerating. In order to find the value of t, we should use v is equal to u plus at. U is 0, v is 20, a is given 2 meter per second square, then t should be equal to v minus u upon a from first above equation. Therefore t is equal to 20 minus 0 upon 2, which is equal to 10 seconds. Now the B part of this question. Given that the distance travelled up to the point at which the car begins to move with constant speed is 1/3 of the total distance travelled, find the value of v. Now from the figure given on the right side, we can write half into 10 into 20, which is the area of triangle 1, plus half into 5 into 20 minus v, which is the area of another triangle, plus 5 into v, which is the area of rectangle shown by 3, is equal to 1/3 of the total distance travelled by the car, which is shown in the bracket. So we can write, after multiplication, we can write 100 plus 50 minus 2.5v plus 5v is equal to 1/3 of 100 plus 50 minus 2.5v plus 5v plus 27.5v plus 2.5v. And after simplification, we have 150 plus 2.5v is equal to 1/3 of 150 plus 32.5v, or 150 plus 2.5v is equal to 50 plus 10.83v, or 100 is equal to 8.33v. Then v is equal to 100 upon 8.333. Hence, v is equal to 12 meter per second. Question number 5. A particle is projected vertically upward with speed 40 meter per second alongside a building of height h meter. A part. Given that the particle is above the level of the top of the building for 4 seconds, find h, the height of the building. In order to find the time taken by the particle from the point of projection to the maximum height, we use v is equal to u plus at. At maximum height, the speed of the particle is 0. Initial speed is 40 meter per second. Since the particle is moving up, so the acceleration produced is due to gravity, which is -10. Substitute these values in the equation v is equal to u plus at. We have t is equal to 4 seconds. That is the time taken by the particle to reach the maximum height. But particle took 2 seconds from the top of the building to the maximum height. Now height of the building is h is equal to 40 multiplied by 2 plus half into -10 multiplied by 2 square, which is equal to 80 minus 20. So height of the building is h is equal to 60 meter. I have used the formula S is equal to ut plus half 80 square to find the height of the building. Now B part of question number 5. 1 second after the first particle is projected, a second particle is projected vertically upwards from the top of the building with speed 20 meter per second. Denoting the time after projection of the first particle by t second, find the value of t for which the two particles are at the same height above the ground. Now, in order to find the height from the top of the building to the maximum height, we use the formula S is equal to ut plus half at square. So, in this way, we will find the height attained by the second particle. Therefore, h dash is equal to 20 into t minus 1 plus half into negative 10 multiplied by t minus 1 whole square, where t minus 1 is the time taken by the particle to reach the maximum height from the top of the building. Therefore, h dash is equal to 20t minus 20 minus 5 multiplied by t minus 1 whole square. Let it be equation 1. But h is equal to 40t minus 5t square. We got this value after using the formula S is equal to ut plus half at square for particle 1. Therefore, substitute the value of h in the equation. We have 60 plus h dash is equal to 40t minus 5t square, because the value of h is equal to 60 plus h dash as shown in the figure. Substitute the value of h dash from equation 1. We have 60 plus 20t minus 20 minus 5 multiplied by t square plus 1 minus 2t, which is the value of t minus 1 whole square, is equal to 40t minus 5t square. From this equation, we get 35 is equal to 10t. Therefore, t is equal to 35 upon 10, which is equal to 3.5 seconds. Question number 6. A block of mass 5 kg is placed on a plane inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal. The coefficient of friction between the block and the plane is mu. A part. When a force of magnitude 40 Newton is applied to the block acting up the plane parallel to a line of greatest slope, the block begins to slide up the plane as shown in the figure. Show that mu is less than 1 upon 5 times the root 3. Now see the figure carefully. The plane is rough, so force of friction is there. Force of friction is always acting in the opposite direction of the motion of an object. Here R is the normal contact force and W sin theta and W cos theta are the components of the weight of this block. W sin theta is always acting down the plane, while W cos theta is used to balance the reaction of the normal contact. Now it is clear from the figure, block is moving up, it means 40 Newton force is greater than the sum of the forces W sin theta and force of friction. So we can write force of friction plus 50 sin 30 degree is less than 40 Newton, or 40 Newton is greater than sum of Fr and 50 sin 30 degree. Therefore, mu r, which is the value of force of friction, plus 50 sin 30 degree is less than 40 Newton. But the value of r is equal to W cos theta, which is 50 cos 30 degree. So mu multiply by 50 cos 30 degree is less than 40 minus 50 sin 30 degree, which is equal to 15 Newton. Therefore, mu is less than 15 multiplied by 2 divided by 50 into root 3. I have used the value of cos 30, which is equal to 3 root upon 2. So mu is equal to 3 upon 5 root 3, which is less than equal to 1 upon 5 times the root 3. And that is our required answer. Now in B parts, when a force of magnitude 40 Newton is applied horizontally in a vertical plane containing a line of greatest slope, the block does not move as shown in the figure. Show that, correct to 3 decimal places, the least possible value of mu is 0.152. Now see the figure carefully. We have taken the plane on the x-axis and normal contact force on the y-axis. And 40 Newton force is proceed towards the right. This force is making angle of 30 degree with the x-axis. Now we are going to resolve this force into its components. The component of this force along x-axis is 40 cos 30 degree and along y-axis is 40 sin 30 degree. From the figure, it is clear along x-axis 3 forces are acting. 40 cos 30 degree to the positive x-axis and Fr and 50 sin 30 degree to the left. Since the block is in equilibrium, so 40 cos 30 degree is equal to 50 sin 30 degree plus Fr, force of friction, or 40 cos 30 degree is equal to 50 sin 30 degree plus mu r, which is the value of force of friction, or 40 cos 30 degree is equal to 50 sin 30 degree plus mu r, and 40 cos 30 degree is equal to 50 sin 30 degree plus mu into 40 sin 30 plus 50 cos 30, which is the value of normal contact force R. Therefore, mu is equal to 40 cos 30 degree minus 50 sin 30 degree upon 40 sin 30 plus 50 cos 30 degree. Hence, mu is equal to 9.64 divided by 63.30. Hence, mu is equal to 0.152, which is the required value. Now question number 7. A particle P moves in a straight line starting from a point O with velocity 1.72 meter per second. The acceleration of the particle after t second leaving O is given by A is equal to 0.1 t to the power 3 over 2. A part. Find the value of t when the velocity of p is 3 meter per second. Now the formula for the velocity in terms of a is v is equal to integral of a dt. Now substitute the value of a on right side. In place of a, we have v is equal to integration of 0.1 multiplied by t raised to 3 upon 2 dt. That is equal to 0.1 multiplied by t to the power 5 over 2 divided by 5 over 2 plus integration constant, or v is equal to 0.2 upon 5 multiplied by t to the power 5 upon 2 plus c. Now in order to find the integration constant c, we use the initial conditions. When t is equal to 0, v is equal to 1.72 meter per second. This condition is given in the question. Therefore, 1.72 is equal to 0.2 upon 5 multiplied by 0 raised to power 5 upon 2 plus c, and from here c is equal to 1.72, or v is equal to 0.04 t to the power 5 over 2 plus 1.72, but v is equal to 3. So 3 is equal to 0.04 multiplied by t to the power 5 over 2 plus 1.72. Here we get t is equal to 2 square, which is 4 seconds. Now in B part of question number 7, find the displacement of P from O when t is equal to 2, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places. Now the relation between displacement and velocity is shown. S is equal to integral of v dt. Substitute the value of v in the formula. So S is equal to integral of 0.04 multiplied by t to the power 5 upon 2 plus 1.72 dt, or S is equal to 0.04 multiplied by the t to the power 7 upon 2 upon 7 upon 2 plus 1.72 t plus c. To find the value of c, we use the initial conditions. When t is equal to 0, S is 0, therefore c is also 0. Then S is equal to 0.04 multiplied by 2 upon 7 multiplied by t to the power 7 over 2 plus 1.72 t. Now when t is equal to 2, S is equal to 0.04 multiplied by 2 upon 7 multiplied by 2 upon 3.5, which is 7 over 2, plus 1.72 multiplied by 2. Hence the displacement covered by the particle P is 3.57 meter. Question number 8. Two particles A and B of masses 0.3 kg and 0.5 kilogram respectively are attached to the ends of a light inextensible string. The string passes over a fixed smooth pulley which is attached to a horizontal plane and to the top of an inclined plane. The particles are initially at rest with A on the horizontal plane and B on the inclined plane, which make an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal, as shown in the figure. The string is taut and B can move on a line of greater slope of the inclined plane. A force of magnitude 3.5 Newton is applied to B acting down the plane. A part. Given that both planes are smooth, find the tension in the string and the acceleration of B. Now in the figure, it is clear that on particle A, only one force is acting, which is the tension in the string. Because the surface is plane, there is no friction at all. So according to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. But F is equal to T in this case, therefore T is equal to ma, or T is equal to 0.3a, where 0.3 is the mass of particle A. Now, forces acting on particle B are three forces are acting: 3.5 Newton and W sine theta acting down the slope or inclined plane, and tension is acting towards the pulley. So we use here Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma, and F is 3.5 plus 5 sine 30 degree minus T, which is equal to ma, 0.5a. Now from these two equations we can write 0.3a is equal to 6 minus 0.5a. I have used the value of t to obtain this equation, or 0.8a is equal to 6, therefore a is equal to 6 upon 0.8, which is equal to 7.5 meter per second square, and this is the value of the acceleration produced in the system. But t is equal to 6 minus 0.5a. Now substitute the value of a in the equation. We have t is equal to 6 minus 0.5 multiplied by 7.5, which is equal to 2.25 Newton, which is the value of the tension produced in the string. Now in B part of question number 8, it is given instead that the two planes are rough. When each particle has moved a distance of 0.6 meter from rest, the total amount of work done against friction is 1.1 joule. Use an energy method to find the speed of particle B when it has moved this distance down the plane. You should assume that the string is sufficiently long so that it does not hit the pulley when it moves 0.6 meter. Now it is clear from the figure that two forces are acting on particle B down the plane. These forces are 3.5 Newton and W sine theta. Now we are using energy method to find the value of V. The equation for energy method is work done on B is equal to gain in kinetic energy of the system plus work done against friction. Work is equal to the product of force and displacement. So work done on B is equal to W sine theta plus 3.5, which is the sum of the forces acting on B, multiply the displacement or distance covered by the particle B, which is 0.6. So W sine theta plus 3.5 multiplied by 0.6 is equal to half multiplied by 0.3 plus 0.5, which are the masses of A and B particles, multiplied by V square plus 1.1, which is the work done against friction. The above equation can be written as 0.6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 0.5 plus 3.5 is equal to 0.5 multiplied by 0.8 multiplied by V square plus 1.1. And from the above equation we can write V square is equal to 3.6 minus 1.1 upon 0.4, or V square is equal to 2.5 upon 0.4. Hence V is equal to 2.5 meter per second.